call the meeting to order. First thing to do is approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on March 17th.
I so move.
Kylie moves, Alice seconds, all in favor? All in favor? All right, any public comment at this time? I think we have the Fuller family here about the issue at their residence that we said we would revisit the 1st of April. And I don't think we've had enough good weather to know that anything's greening up, but it's looking much better around there. I do know that. And I assume you plan to be on top of that to get it resolved so we don't have to deal with it when we do get some green growing. Jordan, I don't know if you have anything to say about that or not.
No, I agree. Yeah, we can't really tell yet because it's not really greened up yet. So I agree. Yeah, we don't have enough there to say yay or nay or what's good or not. So.
We do appreciate the effort you've taken to get to the point you're at it now, because you obviously have done a fair amount of work to accomplish what you've done, and we appreciate your efforts. Yes?
Quick question. I'm just trying to figure out how far the end result is, what the end result is you're expecting. Because your idea or the council's idea of what they're expecting as the end result might be different than mine. I'd just like to have a little clarification, I guess, would be what I'm looking for.
So I guess where I'd leave that is that would be a discussion between yourself and Jordan when things green up, and you know, we're not out to make you clean everything down, you know, that's there for actual shrubbery, that's growth that adds some beauty to your yard. It's a matter of keeping it to where there's not a reason for us to be concerned about overgrowth and, you know, to have
dead buildup, I guess is another phrase.
What's that?
Dead buildup.
Yeah, or, you know, a place for rodents or animals to,
yeah,
safe place for them, so to say, and then they spread in the neighborhood.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. And Jordan will be in contact with you or somebody will. I think that you've shown enough effort that you're going to complete it, and if for some reason it doesn't get completed, you'll be back here again. But otherwise, I think the conversation would now be between you and Jordan at a later date, and that everything would be taken care of in that manner. Okay, thank you for your efforts. We'll move on to appropriation ordinance number 1398 to pay the bills.
On 2020 Ford F-150 repair, did it have some damage?
Yeah, there was an accident at the shop where one vehicle, the loader backed into it accidentally, and so it had to be repaired. It was turned over to insurance, and the deductible was $500, but the total cost of repair was at $37.
You did turn it in to the insurance then?
Yeah.
It was on our ground and our own, we backed into our own stuff?
Yep.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll get reimbursed.
We received a check from the insurance company for $3,200, and then we were paying the total back to OC's.
Brian, What was all wrong with the street sweeper?
Basically, I ordered a main broom, 3 or 4 gutter brooms, new skid shoes for the side shields, and then a conveyor belt. The conveyor
They're just
belt
kind of
was
maintenance
wore out.
items at all?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
The engine and stuff's still?
Yeah, we're all good there.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion to approve appropriation ordinance number 1398 for the bills as presented.
I'll second.
Steve moves, Ray seconds, all in favor? All in favor. Move on to a street closure request for the American Legion Riders. American Legion Riders have submitted a request to close Main Street from 8th to 9th on 2 different dates, May 8th and August 21st. The closure would be from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. both days. And then along with the street closure, the Legion Riders have submitted an application for a temporary cereal malt beverage permit for the same dates and times. These events were held last fall in the same manner and location with no known issues of negative impact. Clerk Henry's here if anybody's got any questions for him, but I think that's pretty cut and dry.
Need a motion on each one of them, or?
Should probably have a motion for the street closure for both dates and a motion for the cereal malt beverage. 2
Make a
different motions.
motion for the street closure.
Second.
Jim moves, Kylie seconds, all in favor? All in favor, temporary cereal malt then.
I can make that same motion.
Second.
Jim moves, Isla seconds, all in favor? All in favor. Got that handled then, we'll move on to the planning commission. Ray sent us an email indicating Bruce Stanley had resigned from the planning commission and that Bruce Hermish was interested in filling the vacancy. To make Bruce's resignation a matter of record and ensure the entire governing body is aware of the change, his resignation letter was included in the packet and added as an item to the agenda. So I don't know, certainly don't have no problem putting Bruce Hermish on that committee, but I'm a little out of the loop on what they're doing to move forward, and I think that's something that maybe you have more information on than any of us.
Well, from what I understand, they want to have a kind of reorganization since Bruce was the chairman of the planning board. So they're wanting to have a meeting here, I guess, in next week or sometime to go through that. So we thought with that position, if Bruce Hermish said he would serve on the planning board, I'd go ahead. Do we need a motion on that, or?
Usually it's an appointment by myself and then the confirmed or by the council or, approved. But did you find out how many people are actually on the planning commission?
Right now, there are 6 active since Bruce Stanley resigned. We can have between 7 and 15 people.
In Martin believes we need 7 to have a meeting
Yeah,
anyway.
we need at least 7.
So if
We need.
I'd make the appointment valid tonight for Bruce Hermish, and they could have their meeting and
Yes.
move on. So I'll make that appointment of Bruce Hermish and be approved by the council then.
I'll move to approve that appointment. I'll second.
Mike moves and Ray seconds. All in favor? All in favor. So I guess with that being said, I think we need to, I don't know why that wasn't made public back in September, but it wasn't. And I think we found it in the planning commission book or something, so I think we need to address that. I thought we had it all figured out where we weren't having several members done at the same time too. But that would be part of that, something with our first meeting to get that handled, that we're not dropping off 2 or 3 at a time. And I thought we staged it at 1, 2, and 3 years. And then it was gonna be every 3 years after that first couple of years went by. For when somebody was appointed, they were appointed for 3 years. Maybe that's the way I recall it.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's on a 3-year appointment.
Do you know, Mark, was there a change formally made on that?
I think it just slipped through the cracks.
As far as the terms and when they end?
Yeah.
Because the way it reads is that when a term ends, somebody can be appointed to fill the remainder of their term. They don't start like 3 years from that date. Is that right?
Right, that's how it should be. But I think they just kind of lost track of people who continue to serve basically indefinitely, so.
There's a sheet in that book that has all the terms.
Yeah.
According to that sheet, I think there's 4 people whose terms expire in September of 2021. That's, we're trying to decide if it was changed so that they would not all end in the same year.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
We discussed that, but I don't know how far it went.
Okay.
So that needs to be corrected within that first meeting too, as far as reorganization or whatever they're gonna do there. And obviously, if there's any interest for the public listening, members that want to serve, we would certainly be willing for more members because we can have up to 15. We need a minimum of 7. So I know that some meetings, sometimes it's hard for them to get enough people together to get a quorum too. So if there's any other interest within the community, please let one of your council people or myself or the city hall know, and we'll work on making that appointment happening as well. I guess then moving on to pool manager position. Aaron has a applicant here that looks really good to me.
I had a Zoom interview with her, and then she was able to come up, and we kind of checked out the pool, and she's extremely knowledgeable, has a lot of experience around water, currently on the K-State rowing team, and she's actually moving up this way. She's going to be living in Sabetha the end of this month, or end of May, and so I don't know if you guys have any questions about her, or?
But she'd be here in time for pool opening then?
Yes.
And then it might be an issue at the end of the year though, if she decides to do the nursing thing?
No, we kind of talked about it, and when the pool starts to go to just weekends, she said she'd be able to make it work and things along those lines.
Because she was a little undecided.
Yeah, yes, so I don't think there'll be an issue with her having to leave before the pool ends or anything like that.
Well, I don't see a problem with your recommendation to hire her.
The only thing I would bring up though is, looks like a good candidate, okay? But we had a candidate in here that looked pretty good too, and in the last 2 weeks, Jordan took a peek at this yet?
No, I'm not with him, so I
That
can
would be
get
the
with
only
him.
thing I would say, otherwise, other than that, I don't have a problem with it.
I did a little calling around on that from what she said. She, has some local contacts.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get any negative
Yeah.
report that, so. But that is neither here nor there. That's just a little bit I checked into it, so I thought it was fine.
So that was all that I had.
Well, I would.
Do we need a,
Well, I think he's concerned about a background check or, make sure there's no problem with her.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with proving it for any problems with whatever you come up with.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with proving it, it's contingent on the clean background check and stuff. That's something that should be really a standard practice for any position hired.
Great.
So we want to just.
Somebody will need to make that motion then.
Well, I move to approve the hire of Logan Frost to the pool manager position. Desire, we need to mention the pay rate and all that stuff, or is that just at $15 an hour? Starting this May, correct?
Yes.
Mike moves, Alice seconds. Any other discussion?
with with background check and OKs.
Okay. All right, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor? All in favor? Thank you, Aaron.
Aaron?
The city administrator position, it would be the next thing on the agenda. We had applicants for 27 people, 27 applicants for that position. We narrowed it down to 8 and narrowed it down to 1, and we're going to offer this to our current city clerk. And she's accepted the employment agreement that was put in on the table tonight. It was emailed to you earlier today. Basically, $65,000 per year with 3 weeks of vacation, and is able to live within 2 miles of the city limits. Is the highlights of that. Other than that, it's pretty standard employment agreement, what we've had with all of our past administrators.
It's a 2-year agreement.
Yes. I would assume that, obviously we should be doing an evaluation annually. It could be a situation that we do an evaluation at year end, and if we wanted the contract to go for 2 years at that point, or do you just renew it every April, or what's the best scenario there?
Well, it's subject, it's under the terms of the contract, it'll renew every 2 years. But you're supposed to do performance evaluations annually as well. So you certainly could, after a performance evaluation, make an offer to modify those terms. But otherwise, the contract's just gonna renew. Now, when we got into the situation with the last administrator, is that we went years without doing evaluations.
Right.
So.
But I think that's basically on myself or the governing body that we didn't do it on an annual basis. And I think if we get in tune with doing it at the same time, we're expecting the rest of our employees to go through an evaluation that we need to know we need to do it then as well. So, yes, I failed on that one. It says the mayor in there.
Somebody should have prompted you, probably.
Well, we did let things go. But I intend to make that better going forward on my end.
Need a motion on this then, Jim?
Yes.
Make a motion to accept the employment agreement for our new city administrator position with Tammy Hamer.
I would second that.
Jim moves, Steve seconds, all in favor? All in favor. With that being said, the next thing this needs to be taken care of is application process for city clerk again. I don't know how everybody else feels, but we did have a short discussion about that. That was, maybe we should put that application process out there for a full-time and a part-time position and see what we do get for anybody that could possibly be interested in a part-time position as well. And obviously, you asked that I ask League of Municipalities for where that could be listed, that application, request for applications. And so I gave that whole list to Tammy just as I walked in here. She gave me a whole list of places that can be listed online. So I don't know if there's any specific places you want it listed, but I think we would leave that up to her as administrator now to decide where she wants to list it. And she can inform us of what we intend to do there. But I don't know what the rest of you think, but I would be in favor of some sort of process that includes accepting full-time and part-time applicants.
I think that's a good idea.
That's what we talked about. Have the application open for at least, what, 2 weeks?
Well, I think we have to look at several different things there, not just so much the city clerk, but how we're going to handle zoning administration and different things like that, where possibly some of the part-time might work into, you know, a couple different hats there as far as that goes. But I think it's important that we have somebody available in City Hall during regular business hours, and when somebody's on vacation or a day off, it's hard to cover that with other employees. So that's what our first task, I guess, is how we'll take care of that. And we'll leave it up to you, Cammie, to inform us of what you think is the best process there. And other than that, we'll go on into reports and recommendations. Anybody have anything there that they would like to discuss?
The sales tax.
Oh, yeah.
I guess the sales tax for March is in, and for the month of March, the city share was $60,332, and for the county, it was $21,175, for a total of $81,506, and this was higher than last year and the year before. So, anyway, we're in fairly decent, pretty good shape so far this year, so that's all I have.
Let's see, this is the last city meeting for Jane as our city clerk. And we want everybody to know that there's an open house here tomorrow from 1 to 4 for her retirement. But I have a plaque for her to present. City of Seneca City Clerk, 1986 to 2021, 35 years, 422 months, 12,856 days, and countless memories.
Whoa.
Thank you very much for all your service to the city. Yep.
Jane, if you cry, then I'm gonna cry.
I won't cry. Maybe.
Thank you very much.
So it's up to Alice now?
Yep.
Wait, I'm not leaving. I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
Alice moves to adjourn, Jim second. All in favor?
It does.